This is how we make whole wheat jam biscuits at home. And stick till the end of the recipe because we'll be sharing many tips that will sure to give you fabulous whole wheat jam cookies. We start with the butter. Take 100 grams of butter. Make sure it is at room temperature. This way it is easy to whisk and we call it creaming of butter. Then add 90 grams of caster sugar. Using a whisk, cream the butter and sugar together. You can also take ghar ka normal chini, run it in a dry blender and you can use that sugar. Just make sure to weigh it accurately. A little bit of vanilla also goes in. Whisk again to cream them all together. Now we take 150 grams of whole wheat flour, 1 tablespoon of custard powder, half a teaspoon of baking powder, a little bit of salt. It is so important to sift the dry ingredients. Sifting will help breaking up the clumps of whole wheat flour and plus it aerates the whole mix. Then we start to bring the dough together with hand. You will need milk, a couple of spoons to form a cookie dough. Make sure to add a little milk at a time. Mix it and only add more when required. Do not overwork the cookie dough, otherwise the cookies can turn out a little tough in texture. This means just use your light hand to bring the dough together. Next step is to roll out the cookie dough. For that, place a sheet of parchment paper on the kitchen counter. Place the dough and cover it up with another piece of parchment paper. This is a clean way to roll out the cookie dough. Use a rolling pin to roll out the cookie dough in an even thickness, almost half a centimeter thick. Now sometimes the dough gets really soft and it becomes difficult to manage it. At that time, just transfer the rolled out dough sheet onto a baking tray. Keep it in the freezer for 10 or 15 minutes. This will firm up the fat in the dough and it will make the next step of cutting and shaping the cookies very easy. I've used a wide side of a piping nozzle to make these centers for the jam. Use an offset spatula to transfer the cookies to a parchment paper lined baking tray. This is the first tray of shaped cookies, and what I do is I start my oven to preheat at 160 degrees and I place my cookie tray straight in the freezer for 10 minutes. So for 10 minutes my cookies are chilling and my oven is getting preheated. You bring together the remaining edges and snippets of the dough, roll it out again and use the cookie cutter to shape more cookies. Let's prep the filling now. We need jam. Make sure to take thick jam. Now here's the problem. These biscuits will maintain the texture in an airtight container. Means they will remain crispy in an airtight container. Even when they are filled with the cream inside, they will remain crispy. But the jam will give you a problem. When you fill the centers with the jam, either you have to consume these biscuits on the same day or they lose the texture and they will get soggy. The solution for this problem is that we bake the cookies with the jam inside the center. The method is you divide the shaped cookies in two trays. One tray with the whole cookies and the other tray with the cookies in the hole in the center. You place jam in the center of each cookie, chill it in the freezer for 10 minutes and then bake it with jam inside. The idea is to dehydrate the jam a little so the moisture in the jam will not spoil the texture of the cookies. You will be able to keep these cookies when baked with the jam for 2 to 3 weeks in an airtight container. I didn't do it that way because I had some kids over who had no patience to wait for the cookies and they just consumed it the very same day. Let's make the cream for the center. In a bowl, you take 10 grams of butter, room temperature, whisk it, add powdered sugar to it. Make sure to sift the powdered sugar, because many times the sugar has lumps in it, so it is essential to sift it before adding it to the butter. Another important point, we use 1 cup of sugar and we do not dump the whole sugar into the butter at one go. We add it gradually to the butter and we keep whisking it. You can also add flavoring to this filling. Raspberry, strawberry flavoring works amazing when you make jimjams at home. After a while, it will get difficult to work with the whisk, so a spoon is a better option to bring the filling together. The cookies are done. They look gorgeous. When you see a slight color on the edge, that means they are done. Do not overbake them. Keep an eye on your cookies when they are in the oven. Let's assemble the cookies now. First, the cream, spread it evenly. And then a beautiful dollop of jam. Enjoy these homemade jimjam cookies which are made with whole wheat flour.